it was a real struggle for Rangers tonight in terms of, people falling over. The team wasn't anywhere near a first choice Rangers starting 11. They've done so well to take it to that stage in the match, and you just thought, that's terrific. To come away, there's even a bit of irony about it, the fact that it's Dessers that scores the goal. You just think, fair play, everybody's rolled their sleeves up in a real bad situation, and they've taken something. And it's just, I feel it's a bit of a shame that it's ended with a defeat, but at the same time, Rangers were where they needed to be in this competition.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make the playoff, possibly outside chance still of reaching the top 8. And you would fancy them to take 3 points, as I said, depending on what the injury situation looks like by the time they get round to next midweek.
Excuse my ignorance as well, Keith, and I suppose anyone watching, if you want to chip in with the answer. Can Rangers now, after the league phase, register players like Hadji, like Danilo?
Yeah.
They can, can't they?
Yeah.
That will be important.
The kind of squad list that they've put in, that everybody puts in, gets to the end of this group stage, is my understanding. And yes, they can freshen up a little bit. Obviously, you've got January signings, so that would come into play as well. Not that we expect Rangers to make very many January signings, but they have brought in a defender, so he goes straight in, you would imagine.
Yeah.
And then they'll be kind of going to the medical department and sports scientists and asking them what the situation is with the likes of John Suter. Rangers can get much, much, much stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives them a bit of hope going into the next phase of this competition. They're not out of this yet, not by a long shot. And although I started off by saying that Ruben Amorim was quite right about the state of that Man United team, you still got to give Rangers their due for going down there, having to put out a makeshift starting 11, which got even more makeshift the more the match went on, and then still managing to come so close.
Yeah.
Disappointing in the end, but not disastrous. Certainly not embarrassing. They can come away from that with their heads held high.
I'm going to come to the injuries in a wee second, Keith, but like this comment here, Chris Boyd has just said the top team in England beat the top team in Scotland. Did the panel agree? Now, I suspect,
and that's got to be ironic because
he's been a bit mischievous. But I wanted to follow up with this one: two of the poorest teams in the club's history, and without taking it away from Rangers' performance, I think that might be right.
Well, I listen. I think we put everyone in context here. I understand Mark's point there. I understand why you might be inclined to agree, but I think there are Rangers fans that would accept right now, put their hand in the heart, and say, "Yeah, it's pretty mediocre, this Rangers team, compared to what they've seen from years ago." But that is years ago. If you're winding back the clock to a decade ago, and where Rangers were, and the team that was playing in the lowest tier of the Scottish Professional League, Kevin Kyle up front, etc., Ian Black, Sandaza, these guys.
Aye, that's fair. Aye, that's a good point.
So that was Rangers rock bottom, and it's taken a while, and it's been, I'm sure, a lot more slow than the Rangers fans would have wished for. But they've had a long, long journey to get back into the point where they're actually competing. Listen, they got a European final a couple of seasons ago.
Of course,
it's been an incredible achievement for Rangers to do that. Is this a great Rangers team? No. Have they had to reduce the wage bill since even last season? Yes. But look, let's get it right. There were Rangers teams in the last decade which wouldn't get close to this one. It's not a great Rangers team by any manner. I mean, it's mediocre. Is this the worst Man United side that I can remember in my lifetime? Well, unless I'm going back to maybe the early 80s, then yeah.
I honestly, blown away by how poor Man United are. I mean, if Butland hadn't punched that ball in, it didn't look like they were going to create it.
No danger.
Exactly.
That I find will be the frustrating thing for Clement and for the players. They weren't in any danger. they were, if anything, and in fact, not even if anything, the stats will show, I'm sure Rangers had more shots on target. They certainly had the better chances.
I had the better chances.
The little move right at the start that put Raskin in, that was very reminiscent of the way they were playing against Spurs, of the way they played against Celtic, pressing teams into making mistakes in the final third. Great little ball from Eager Man into Raskin. Raskin's really unlucky. He just didn't bring the ball with him on his first touch. He caught up under his feet a little bit. Otherwise, that's 1-0.
The one thing, though, Keith, that it's John very helpfully reminded us, don't forget Man U had the goal ruled out for a very, very soft foul and proper. Even Alan Hutton said it wasn't a foul. I did think that was extremely soft.
No, it was soft. It was soft.
Aye.
But do you know what? You see it all the time. I mean, I think Man United got a free kick for a foul on their goalkeeper that was committed by their own player.
Aye, that's true.
So I don't think the officials were great tonight, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think the officials weren't great. Man United weren't great. Rangers weren't great. Wasn't the greatest of matches, but it was still a really compelling watch. And I think Rangers' final sort of a summation from this will be Rangers will probably take more positives out of that than Man United. If I'm Man United, I'm not feeling a great deal happier about myself tonight.
Yeah, I
think Rangers can look at that and say, well, look at where we're at. I mean, our defence has been wiped out. Our right back is playing at centre half, and by the way, he wasn't even a first choice right back a few weeks ago. We started with two left backs playing on the left hand side. Had to use one of the left backs to come across and play at right back. You've got youngsters coming onto the pitch all over the place. Balogun had to come off at half time. So I think Rangers can look at that and say, well, from the situation and the cards they were dealt, yeah, it'll be a disappointment that they haven't managed to nick that point right at the death. But I think they walk away with their heads held high. And I think the youngsters that have been thrown into that situation in particular can be proud of, their contribution.